Hey guys, welcome back. It's your favorite Gimp Limp, and I'm here with my final part of 1918 Brother Against Brother concerning the Finnish Civil War, obviously, of 1918. Make sure you guys watch the previous parts if you haven't, because I'm going to just pick up right where we left off. And we're going to take and play through a couple more cards for each side, and then we're going to go over a few final thoughts, so that way you guys have seen some different aspects of the game, and then I'll give you my opinions on it. When we cut off last time, we got into the February round, and I'd actually made some mistakes with the red guys' deployments, which kept me from getting the armored trains into the game, which I really wanted to get those armored trains in. So we're going to take and play a couple cards so I can get those at least down to the board. We'll pick right back up, and I do have this card still sitting on the board, representing the fact that the white player still does have that defensive modifier he can use. For the white guys, I'm going to use this card, giving them 3 points to use. I'm not going to play it for its effect, just for the 3 points. We'll set this off to the side here. So I've got 3 towns that I can activate, and I was looking at before. I know which 3 I'm going to do. I'll take and mark them just so I remember. We're going to activate here, here, and here. And the reason I'm doing that is I've got forces up here that are kind of out of the way and they're not able to be used, and they're kind of blocking others off. So I want to take and move them to where they can actually make a difference in this game. Now, I know I was wanting to go there. Okay, first off, I do have in this town one of the blue forces, one of these things called again? Jakari? I pronounce that? Yeah, Jakari. One of the higher powered German forces. So that's part of the reason I'm wanting to activate Vasa, so I can take and bring them out. They do have 4 movement points. They're not going to need it, though, because we're traveling all along rail, which, again, is just 1. So they're going to go 1, and they can move through this. The stacking limit is already met here. They can move through it. They just can't stop there. So 1, 2, 3. I'm bringing them down here to this town where I've already got a fort. And I'm smacking it up. Okay. And organize those back. I got tweezers sitting here and I'm just not using them. That way I've hit the stacking limit and I've got a fort there. So it's a good blockade to keep them off. So 1, 2, 3, right over to there. And which other way I know I was bringing those guys down so they could join in. So 1, 2. Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay. I'm going to bring these guys over. 1, 2. And if I had extra movement points, I would bring these guys down, like a couple more of them down to hit the stacking limit here to kind of pincer in these forces. But I don't have that. I'm not going to be able to hit them with the forces that I've got there. So we'll mark it so I remember these guys are the activated ones. These guys are the activated ones. And then I've got a couple of white units that are still up there that I want to bring down so they can help do something, because they're not doing anything at the northern part of the map. So 1, 2, 3, hit them there into the blockaded. Like, remember, this town is the crossroads. They have to go through that to get to their goal of Vasa. So I have to keep some units there to keep them blocked off. And I may or may not spend a point later. Like, it would be a good idea to get this guy down, because you want to keep like a stacking limit there if you can, to keep them from getting into the town. But you have to keep Vasa empty enough for your reinforcements to come in, because your white forces can come in other towns, but your special forces like the Jakari can only come in from Vasa. It's kind of making me think of the Marvel movie, The Chitauri. Yeah. All right, so that takes care of that. Do we want to do any attacks? I'm honestly thinking I'm not going to do any attacks here. I want that to stay as a hard blockade. I don't want to risk weakening any of those units in an attack. But I could attack over here and weaken them, because I do have 6 total attack against their 2 total attacks. So we'll probably take and do that. We'll go ahead and get those activation markers off. We'll conduct an attack here. No modifiers to worry about, since we are attacking across rail, so we don't get a penalization for it being road. So 6 against 2. We'll look over here at our chart. 6 for the attackers puts us on this column, and 2 for the defenders is going to be this column. So white and red, let's take and roll for them real quick. See what they get. Ooh, 5 and 4. All right, 5 for the attackers is 2. Oh, that's going to wipe them out. And 4 for the defenders is 1. Oh, one little loss. Okay, well, kill one of their units to weaken one of the white ones. We'll just take that guy off. Now I could move up to the stacking limit up. Should I do that? Honestly, I'm not thinking it because that's the place I have to defend. So moving over here isn't going to do me a whole lot of good. And I've got just a lot of weak forces here. I really need to pull back and consolidate. Yeah, I just don't think it would do me much good. I need to keep forces here, so because there's only one guy here, and if I move that and make it weak, they could do an end run around here to go back towards Vasa. So we will not advance after combat. All right, so that takes care of our card that we're playing for the white forces. We will play a card for the red forces. And them too, I am also playing just a card for its numerical value, just the 3. I am going to play next the 5 card. Remember, it's got a star on it, so it will be removed once it's played, but this is the one that gets the armored trains. But I have to move some guys so I can take and get those actually onto the board. Now they can take and enter. The trains can enter from Vimpuri. Basically, they can come in here. Tampere. Where's Tampere? They can come in Helsinki, so they can come in here, here, or I think Tampere. Yeah, they can come in from any of the 3 strategic cities, which is here. Okay, so here, here, or where they can come in from. So I need to clear off a little bit. Let's see. Helsinki only has 2 guys in it, so I need at least 1 guy to move from here. We're going to just take and activate this whole line here because they're getting a lot of like troops from Russia. So if we activate here, here, and here, they can attack all the way across the board and try to kind of clean out these white forces. So we'll take and do that. All right, so we're going to activate here, here, and here. And we're going to try to push out against... Now, there's a road or something connected. Yeah. Okay, road connecting here. Train line connecting here, and a road connecting here. So that's going to be penalties on 2 of these attacks. It's not the worst that could happen, but it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, I think I flipped that. Was that half? Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember if I bumped it and flipped it or not. We'll just leave it. It's not a big deal. Okay, so let's remind ourselves real quick what the penalty is attacking. If any units attack using a road, except for German units, the attacking player subtracts 2 from their die result. So, that's kind of bad, but we're going to have to go with it. Okay. We're just attacking here, here, and here. And at least the main one that I'm worried about is here, because they have to take and clear that off. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to get those trains out. So, we'll start with our top one attacking. They have... I think it's 6. Yeah, 6 against 2. Same columns actually we just used. So see what we get. Now the red guys are attacked across the road, so they're getting -2 against their die roll. Oh ho ho ho. Well, at least they just got a 1, which is no effect. 5 on the defenders, which gives them a 2. Oh, they just wipe out a unit and they just kill them. Oh, that is horrible for those red guys. They really did a good job simulating the effect that it is so much easier to defend than it is to attack. But I'm kind of wondering if it's just a wee bit too much, because you really have to attack in mass, in strength. And if your opponent is equal to you, then you're just looking for a lucky roll at best to try to take and even things back out. Okay, so let's go with our next attack. At least they are not getting a penalty here, so it's just going to be a straight up. Should be 6. Yep, 6 against 2. Again, 6 on the attackers, 2 on the defenders. Let's see what they get. No penalty for them this time. Oh, I don't think that's going to be good enough. Let's see. Oh, no, they got it. They got what they needed. They got the 2, so they were able to clear them out. And that's a no result for the white guys. So the white guy is killed off. Take and pull him out. And we are going to advance with this whole stack and clear out this city. And yes, I am leaving a strategic city open, but they've got no one near it. No one's going to be able to get near it. And there's so many red forces. And I'm getting ready to put trains in there anyway, so not horribly worried. We will take and finish off with our attack here, which I think is 5 against 2. Yeah, one of these guys is flipped over to half. So 5 against 2, but it's the same column for the attackers anyway. 5 to 6 here, so they're still not losing anything out, but they are losing 2 on their attack roll since it's a road. So they got to roll high. They rolled high. Both sides get a 4 since red is getting a -2 modifier. 4 for them is 2. That's going to wipe him out. 4 for the defenders is going to be a 1 result, so we'll just kill off that half-manned unit. They will die, and we will move these guys forward and take control of that town. So red actually did pretty well. They had hard defense here in this town. The whites did not want to give that one up, but red was able to crush it over here. Oh, and I forgot to use my card too. Oh, we'll just hold on to it. Damn, I meant to use it on one of these attacks. Oh, well, we're not going to worry about it. For the next white attack, I'm going to go with a big one. I'm going to try to get one of their stacks. So we're going to play this card actually for its event, which is going to cost me the card. Activate the units in one town. These units get a +1 to their attack roll and a column shift to the right. So that's big, 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 big. They're getting a column shift and a bonus to their roll. We're going to do an attack here, which are all these units full? Yep. That is 8 attack power. And we're attacking across a rail line here. So we've got the Jakari, whatever they're called there, attacking into this stack. So it's 8 against 2 already. Now we're getting a +1 to the roll and a column shift. So 8 is over here. So we're actually going to be rolling on the 9 to 10 column, which means at minimum they take 1 loss, and they could take as much as 4. So, and the defenders, unfortunately, though, they have 6. So we could be facing some serious heat on this one. I know that's like my defensive spot, but I got the units I can pull down. I want to take and see if we can wipe out a whole stack. It would have been kind of better if I could attack them from another direction, but even still, this, given the extra attack power plus the bonus, does more than attacking from 2 different directions. So, because I'm getting the bonus to the roll. All right, let's roll for it. This attacking down here, whole stack. Who's going to get it? Oh, they both got maxed, so it really doesn't matter as far as the bonus is concerned. But oh, that's going to be a lot of losses on both sides. For 9 to 10 for the attackers, that is 4 hits that they have to do. For the defenders, they're on the 6. Oh, it's 4 on both sides. Key difference here, though, is the fact that this 4 does not have the red asterisk next to it. And if it did, those losses would have to be incurred against the specialized unit. But since it doesn't, then they don't. But since they have an even amount of units on each side, or hits on each side, the defenders do not have to retreat, unfortunately. So they were not pushed back. Both sides are going to lose 2 units each. So 2 hits per unit to take and even things out. But the Jakari did not have to be taken out. So they still have strong defense. They're equal to 2 of the white units. So they still have a pretty good defense set up there. Plus the fact that they still have a fort. So it would be a real hard attack for the red guys. And the white can just reinforce this and go after it again, trying to take those guys down and push down. All right, let's take and play for our red guys. Take and set that card over there. And they are obviously going to play this one, get their red armored trains into it. They can put 3 trains into the game. 3 of the 4 that they have. They'll place 2 armored trains here, and they're going to put 1 in Helsinki, which is also a strategic city. You guys can see this, a 5-5 unit. Those things are beastly, absolutely beastly, but they do have to run along the train lines, obviously, to conduct their attacks. But that is such a strong unit. It's worth 2.5 units in and of itself, and has a 4 movement value. But leaving 1 train there on Helsinki, there's 10 defensive value here. That's going to make it brutally, brutally difficult on the white forces to try to take these towns, since they are just so defended. Not to mention, let's see, Helsinki has 12 attack power in it and a fort. So on their defensive roll, they would be rolling here if they were attacked the 12 to 13. And that's not including any cards that might affect it as well. Plus the fact that the most that you can get with just normal units is an attack power of 6. So they would have to be attacked from multiple angles if using regular units. More than likely, they would have to use the specialized German units to try to take Helsinki. So it is just so fortified right now that I see it as an impossibility to get it anywhere near soon. I mean, the red forces are just so powerful right now. All right, but we're going to call it here. I've shown you guys a good chunk of the game. You guys can see that it does have... All right, first off, I am not a big area type control game. Like, you guys have not seen a whole lot of these type games on my channel because it's not really a me thing. But I got to admit, I've been playing a few of them here recently. I've been sent some review copies. And I didn't give them a fair shake because there is a lot of strategy to these games. I didn't really think there could be. You know, I was so hex and counter based that I was looking at this like, oh, you're limiting my movement. I can only go in these directions. Well, that gives options for strategy. Like the fact that I'm looking here and going, all right, I have to keep that one little town defensible because that's the only way they can get to their objective. But I can't take and just put units there because that is a port where reinforcements are going to come. So I have to keep my defenses here so my reinforcements can come from this direction. I like that aspect of the strategy. I also like the fact that this game has 2 different combat odds tables for attacking and defending. I've said it more than once during this playthrough series that I think it's neat that they're accounting for the fact that you're better when you're defending than when you're attacking. It is a little bit steep. I don't know, maybe the difference couldn't be quite as much, but it's not a huge difference on it, but it does make you account for the fact that you want to bring overwhelming forces. I would have to play the game 2 or 3 times to really get a good feel on it. I will say from what I've experienced with it, I do like it. It makes you have to think more when you're committing your forces because you know that you're at an inherent disadvantage when you're attacking. So you have to take and consider that and build your forces up and adjust for that and what direction you're coming in from. It does seem that the white forces in this game start off a little bit on the back foot. It seems like they tried to make it a little bit... Because like I said, there's a historical variant that actually gives a fair amount of advantages to the white forces. And from what I've played so far, I almost think that the historical variant is the way that you should play just because the red forces get so many troops compared to the white guys. And if they concentrate and make a good, solid end run for Vassla, they could end up getting it if they get some good rolls trying to push their way in. Again, though, all the white player really would have to do is turtle up, get defensive, make the red player conduct the attacks, and only attack when the white player has the advantage to try to pick off troops here and there. And then after a few rounds start to progress and the white player starts getting more and more and more German troops that are a lot stronger and a lot heavier hitting, that's going to end up putting the red player on the back foot. But here's the thing, there's the time limit in the game itself that you only have so long. So the white player doesn't have a whole lot of time to turtle to build up their forces to then turn around and go on the offensive to try to get the strategic cities they need to win. Because remember, the red forces only need to capture one city to win. The white forces have to capture all 5 of the strategic cities to win. So, just my experience so far, I would like to see the game played with the historical variant to see if it evened it out a little bit. But it is intriguing to have both options there and just to see how the game plays. It would probably be more interesting playing against another player who's going to come up with different strategies versus playing it solitaire. When it comes to playing the game solitaire, it plays perfectly fine solitaire, but there is no solitaire mode per se. There's no AI. You're just playing against yourself to the best of your ability. That's a drawback when it comes to the game. There is no, campaign or AI mode for the game. It doesn't have a chit draw type mechanic. It's the card draw, which helps because the cards are going to be random that you're going to get each turn to an extent. You'll know some of your cards, but you won't know other of your cards. So they'll be random to an extent between game to game, but you'll know the general gist of the cards that you're going to have. So that, again, is a little point against solitaire play. It helps and it hurts when it comes to it. My general gist when it comes to solitaire for this game is if you're very interested in this thematically, like the Finnish Civil War, this time period, absolutely go for it. But if you're looking for, an area control type game that you can play solitaire, you might look in other directions versus this one. However, I do think it has a fair amount of depth and strategy in it for competitive play. So if you want something you can play with someone else, I definitely highly recommend the game. I like it. Mounted map, good components. The wooden dice, obviously a very big plus. I really like that. So competitive play, yep, absolutely, definitely recommend. Solitaire, I only recommend if you're interested in the time period itself or Finland, or you've got some type of tie to it and you're wanting to get into this historically. Plus the fact that it does come with, like I said, the historical pamphlet that tells you about the war and what was going on. I like it when they include stuff like that. All right, but that's going to be it for me for 1918 Brother Against Brother. Definitely enjoyed it. Recommend under those circumstances I talked about. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one.